Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Micah in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using will be listed below. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below, same email. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the one you chose. Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Cancer? Are plans changing? This doesn't have to be a bad... I don't know if you're upset about that. Some plans changing, but this might be something where maybe that can be a good thing. There's a lot of love around you for this. A lot of love around you. Okay. So, I just want to hone this in. How does Cancer feel about plans changing? You don't know how to feel about it. You got the Lover's card like this, which is telling me you don't enjoy people you care about not getting what they want. But at the same time, if that keeps them closer to you in some respect or keeps the connection stronger between you and them, it's kind of like, well, I do love them for a reason. I want them closer. So I don't want them to fail. I don't take any joy in them not getting what they want. But in the same token, if it keeps them closer to me, I do enjoy that. So it's like, I don't really want to be all yippee hey about oh, you didn't get what you wanted. But at the same time, it's like, but you stay closer. So I feel like I have mixed emotions about it. And I'm trying to also be more realistic, kind of what's the truth here? Is this just a pause, or are they going to change their mind on something? So there's obstacles here. There's a change of plans. Ultimately, I think it's going to help you out. What number is that over there? 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords isn't the worst. It's feeling stuck. But there's a moment here where I feel like you might kind of feel stuck with a situation. How do we get there, and how do we see it before it happens? Because I feel like if you see this as it keeps progressing forward and you're like, okay, this might get stuck, I feel like you can plan for it a little differently and be kind of ready, kind of instead of that getting stuck, it reminds me of driving a car through a field. It's kind of like, well, if I slow down too much, I could get stuck in one of these ruts, and that could be a problem. So if I can keep going just fast enough and try to be very diligent, maybe I don't have to get stuck, or at least not that bad. I have to be careful where I go. Maybe it doesn't have to hold me back as much. I can slow up and take a little bit extra time going through this instead of just getting stuck anyway. There could be a little bit more details that could come forward to help you, instead of getting stuck, I'll just go slower so it's not as bad. What is I know that I was expecting something to come forward, and it's not happening. I was expecting something to come forward, and it's not happening. I keep getting that. Although I don't see you distraught and really upset about it, but I also kind of again, those mixed emotions. Part of it's working to your benefit, part of it you kind of feel bad that it's happening the way it's happening. So it's you don't take any joy out of somebody you care about not getting what they want. I just feel like I don't take any joy in that. But at the same time, it's it does work to your benefit. So it's kind of 6 here, half there. I feel like I keep questioning it, and maybe that's why I'm stuck on this spot. Because I'm is it what is this going to turn into? Because that didn't work, what is this going to turn into? there's details here. Is Cancer privy to the details? Like, do they know what the details actually are that are running this situation? Partially. Partially. It's almost like knowing, like, you know, somebody's going to a party and there's a couple friends they're going to have there. They're going to be there. Not realizing that the reason they're actually going to that party is to see somebody specific. They actually want to see somebody. There's something they have to say, or there's something motivating them. So it's almost like, yeah, I kind of know they're going to this party and there's going to be people they know there. I'm not realizing the whole reason they're actually even going to the party is to see certain people because they want to discuss something. So it's kind of like, I kind of know, but I don't really know that that's the actual, like, this is what's motivating the whole moment. I'm like, oh, they're going to go there. That's going to be there. I'm not realizing, no. That's why they're even going. So there's sort of, like, you kind of know, but you don't realize how much of a factor certain things are. I feel like that's what's going on here. There's a moment coming forward. I'm going to try to tread lightly with this, because I don't want things to get worse for you, obviously. So I'm going to tread lightly with this. Queen of Swords energy and the Justice card. The Justice card comes in like this, though, which is telling me some diplomacy, maybe not too much diplomacy. Some balancing things out, maybe not too much of that. Because there's healing coming forward. There's information flowing around you. Could be a conversation you're a part of. Could be hearing about something. Could be watching or seeing a text go between people. You know, when you get involved in one of those group texts, and then people just start talking about stuff, and you start to think to yourself, do they realize they're saying that in the group text? Like, do they realize that's where they are? Do they realize that's where they are? You have a choice when this information starts swirling, because there's a lot of healing going on here. For some reason, you might have the knee-jerk reaction, kind of like, maybe I should just stay out of it. It's respectable, it makes sense. Maybe I should just stay out of it. It's a choice if you're choosing to. And I can respect why maybe you would be like, no, I shouldn't be, blah, 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 blah. Or take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. You do care. You clearly care, and you have something to contribute. You do. King of Cups comes in. Don't get caught up in the gender. The Star card, which is a very strong communicator, possibilities. Sometimes talks about Aquarius energy. Doesn't have to do with anything with an Aquarius, but by participating and kind of like getting involved in the situation and putting your 2 cents in, I'm not saying that's going to go smoothly, but you may be actually able to help the situation. It's all about how you say stuff, I guess. Could be a timing thing too. You might find out information, hear about a conversation, even watch it play out, and you may wait till later when the opportunity is more in your advantage to like have a intimate conversation with the appropriate people. That's an option too, if you decide that that's correct. Because they're saying there's a reason you're a part of this. It's not just because you just happen to be there. You have the ability to shine some light on this subject. Doesn't mean you have to do anything. If you're not comfortable, or you're like, yeah, I might get snapped in the door with that, though, don't do it if you feel like it's going to go bad. Like, I understand that. But there's possibilities here that certain people don't want to hear, that maybe they need to hear, which that's, again, why I'm feeling like it may not go smoothly. But I get that it can go better. And the Sun card here is like, they need it to go better. And they are ready for the change. This says ready for more, but I'm getting they are ready for the change to do things differently. I don't know if I showed this, but the situation is presenting a different version of success. It's not a total failure for anybody. It's just changing the plans. It's going to be a different version of success. It's kind of like we were all going to get together and go to this certain restaurant for food, but that restaurant is closed. So we can't do that. That was everybody's favorite restaurant. Doesn't mean we can't get together. We could do a last minute potluck if we wanted to. We can still get together. We can still do other things. We can just do something different. You know what I mean? There's a different version of success here. Things are changing, but it's still success. It's just changing to a different version of success. I could say that all day if I want to, but I don't see the point. Because there should be a moment of stability. And the more you're willing to participate, the more stable it could be. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. Do what you feel is right. Be in control of your own life. Because if you get in the middle of this, before you know it, you're going to be in the middle of this. Like, if you get in the middle of this, before you know it, you literally will be in the middle of this. And you will be helping things have a different opportunity. There was more opportunities here for you in the whole situation. Once you get in the middle of it, that's where we're seeing the Eight of Swords. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's not funny. Because like once you're in the middle of it, like I just feel like, oh goodness, now I am in the middle of it, and I'm in the middle of it, and I feel like I'm stuck with it. I don't feel like I could gracefully get out of it if I wanted to. Could you get out of it? There's certainly ways to get out of it gracefully. I don't know about gracefully, but opportunities are here. What does this say? Embrace the magical moment. You didn't end up there by just happen chance. You're there for a reason. You're a person who brings in the opportunity for more illumination, for more happiness here. And the process might not be the most enjoyable, but the outcome may be. I would tread slowly if you feel like you get in that spot where you're like, okay, now I am in the middle of it. I get that, you have the option to slow it down and make more calculated decisions. It's going to keep moving forward, but you do seem to have the ability to slow it down, enjoy it for what it is, get it to work out the way you need to, whatever that means for you. Slow and steady, reliable decisions will get you to the end. I don't feel like the decisions are difficult to make. I feel like it's more like I don't want them to go too quickly. And ultimately, things will go better. People need to they don't need to anything. What do I want to say? People are going to be presented with the options to make different decisions that may be more to their benefit than they really want to see. I don't know where this is coming from. This is in the environment. They may be kind of like, there's this idea of something being avoided, or people just like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't feel like I should have to deal with that. And then just avoiding things. I don't feel that for you. I feel that for like, that might be also a motivator here, like people avoiding things and people making choices basing it on how do I avoid this and how do I avoid that. So it's like how to avoid is what's actually motivating part of their decision process. If they're honest with themselves, I feel like they'll see that they're doing that, and they may also see the destructive power that has over their life. What is Cancer supposed to do with that? Like, I understand that that's a part of the story, but what's Cancer supposed to do with that? Acknowledge what's not that enjoyable. You don't have to lead a conversation. You don't have to force a conversation, but acknowledging it once in a while might bring it forward in the sense of like, maybe they'll find a way to like at least deal with that on their own, or at least acknowledge it on their own and realize that they're making decisions based on how to avoid this, how do I avoid that. It's kind of like, if you're letting your life be run by like, I just don't want to deal with this person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an hour out of my day to go completely and walk around it and realizing that that's causing damage. That's causing like some negative outcomes by avoiding, because typically when people start avoiding things like that, they keep going around it. They're avoiding that today, then they add something else and they avoid that, and then they avoid this, and then they avoid this, they avoid that, they avoid the next. People can make avoidance a habit to the point where it creates a lot of destructive energy. Acknowledging it in the sense of like, yeah, I don't like dealing with that either, something like that, but not like forcing the conversation, just acknowledging it and then just kind of letting it be. And if they want to talk about it, great. If they don't, but every now and then, if you just keep acknowledging that, yeah, I don't like doing that either, and then you acknowledge a little piece about what you don't like, it may bring something forward. It may bring the possibility of her conversation. Again, avoiding things too much can create its own destructive pattern. So it's just something to be aware of. I don't see it happening with you directly, but it may be somebody else that's affecting your situation that's causing an effect here that maybe we don't care for as much. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.